Hello everyone, it's Andrea and welcome to this edition of Talks in the Car. Have you ever thought about or considered the fact that people are watching you? No matter where you go, no matter where you are, there is always someone watching you. There's always somebody observing you. There's always somebody looking to see how you're handling a situation, how you're going to handle a situation. Did you handle that in the way that was positive, or did you go off? There is always somebody who is looking at you. Sometimes they're looking at you for a positive reason. They may admire you and they may be observing you from afar, kind of using you as a mentor to govern their own selves. And then there are people who are purposely looking for you to mess up. They're looking for you to stumble. They're looking for the opportunity to say, oh, that's the person who says she goes to church. She says she loves God, but here she is acting crazy, acting the fool. There is always somebody looking at us. And oftentimes, what speaks to our character is not what we do or say when we know we're being observed, but rather what people see when we're out of the spotlight, when we don't know somebody is looking at us, when we don't know that someone is seeing how we're acting. Those are the times that speak to our character, and those are the things that speak to others the loudest. And so my question to you becomes this: is your character in the street? Is your character in church aligning with each other? Are you the same person in church as you are in the street? Does your language in church align with the language that you speak when you're out of the limelight, when you're out of the church house? Can people expect consistency out of you regardless of where you are? Are you mindful of the fact that you represent God, not just in church, and more so in the street? Do people know who you are and who you truly are because your life in church, your life as a Christian, your life as a believer is the same both in and out of the church? We have to be consistent. We cannot be witnesses if we are two different people. If the person that you see here on TikTok is a different person than when I'm in the street, then am I really being an example? Am I really being a witness for Christ? Or am I being a counterfeit? Am I fake? Am I phony? Or can you see, if you were to see me at the grocery store, if you were to see me talking to someone outside of this forum, would my life be consistent with what I say? The things that I might share on this platform, are they consistent with my lifestyle when I am not here? And that's an important question to ask ourselves. Are we the same person, or are we two different people? Do we have two different personalities? And so I want to encourage you today to kind of take a look at that. Can I meet you somewhere outside of church, outside of being around our Christian families? Can I see you and you be the same person that I would see if we were going to a worship service together? If I were to get upset, if something were to bother me, is my language the same? You know, am I a person who speaks words of godliness and words of encouragement when you see me, but in the street, when nobody I think is watching me, I'm cussing somebody out? Am I consistent? Are you consistent? And if you are honest with yourself, you can make that evaluation. And if that's true, let's continue walking in that. But if you need to make some adjustments, if the person that someone sees in church is very different than how you are when you're at your job, when you're at the grocery store, if someone were to step on your foot, would you react the same? Or would you become schizophrenic and turn a whole different person? And if that's the case, then it's time to make some adjustments. It's time to look at ourselves honestly and say, you know what? I am not representing Christ in the street the same way I claim to represent Christ in church. And if we're not, that's a problem, because we need to be consistent. And our greatest witness is not in the church, but outside. It's what people see of us outside that makes the difference. So I encourage you today, do a self-evaluation. Make sure that who you are in church is the same person that you are in the street. Make sure your language is the same language. Make sure that your attitude is the same attitude. Make sure that you're handling things and handling people in a way that's consistent and in a way that will please God. You have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you next time on Talks in the Car.